Hey guys, thanks for listening to the Spiritual Grind. We hope you enjoy it, and don't forget to follow, hit the little bell for your notifications when the podcast is posted, and like, follow, and share with your friends. We hope you enjoy it. Leave a comment if there's any topics that you want us to speak about.
Like, follow, share.
Thank you very much, Dr. Jenny. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the Spiritual Grind.
Good morning.
How are you today, my love?
I'm freezing my tit bags off.
Tit bags?
Yeah, they become kind of baggy.
The over-the-shoulder boulders?
Yeah. I'm getting close to being a size banana instead of a size melon.
What just happened? Are you trying to say you need some tube socks?
I am trying to say I'm going to have to wear 2 sets instead of just one. That would be 4.
Oh, my. I've never heard you refer to yourself like that. That's kind of funny.
Yeah. I may need to do a GoFundMe page for my next augmentation.
Yeah.
My body work. I need to go into the shop.
You need a body shop, a good body shop.
Yeah. I need to get some modifications done.
Okay.
In the facial area and, a lifestyle lift.
When you're in there, can you have this removed, my roundness in the front?
You'll have to join me, but yes, they can do that.
Oh, okay.
They can shave a little off.
Can they make these my pecs a little higher too?
Absolutely.
Man, because I'm sore from doing that little workout thing.
Yeah.
And then yesterday, that was a lot of work.
Yeah, yesterday
spring cleaning day.
Yeah, we dug deep inside and got rid of the clutter. Literally,
it was all day.
I always find that. So the day before I did that spiritually, I worked on a bunch of deep-seated beliefs that were ready to come up.
Yeah, I know. You have a
tell.
A tell, yeah.
A pattern.
I know when those kind of things are coming.
Yeah.
I can tell when you're going to want to clean the house. I can tell when you're going to want to go do something.
I feel, yeah, no, I mean, you should. You've been with me this long.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, you have tells.
There's a fine print in the marriage license that says,
read her mind.
Yeah, read the tells and act accordingly.
Yep.
So, yeah, anyway, when I do that kind of deep cleaning work on my spiritual baggage, I always feel like I need to clean my space next.
Yeah.
And just get the stale, stagnant energy out of my physical space. I've always tried to kind of make our home our spiritual sanctuary retreat, if nothing else for me, because that's just kind of how I like to live. Garbage doesn't get to come in. And so when I do that deep healing, cleaning of my mind, body, and soul, then I want to do it in my physical space as well. And boy, howdy did we.
We did.
This bitch is clean.
Yes,
you can eat off the floor.
Walls, cabinets, everything.
It's glistening.
Yep, it's nice. It's clean.
Yeah, feels really good. I love it.
So are you ready for this week's topic?
I am.
There's this big trend going on that people are talking about imposter syndrome.
I did.
You seen that?
I didn't see it. I take that back. So occasionally I will go through and just kind of see how the SEO and all that is working for us on our different things. So I'll go in as a, I guess, consumer
Yeah.
And look at the blogs, look at the website, see how it functions on the phone, just kind of doing that thing. And interestingly enough, that topic came up when I was kind of just hunting and digging around, imposter syndrome. And I thought, that's interesting.
Right. Do you know what it means?
I have my own thoughts that I've been marinating with on what I think it means.
Yeah, it's like what it
but
is.
I don't know what the they is.
Yeah, what the mainstream is saying is imposter syndrome is when people do things that are really, like say for example, you are a consultant and you're consulting about accounting or math or something.
Okay.
And then they put out information about it, and then they start questioning themselves that they feel like they're doing something that they're not qualified to be doing.
I see.
And so it's a very big topic right now because people are dealing with it because they're not seeing their own worth within it, what they're doing. And so it has now been coined as imposter syndrome.
I see. Okay.
And it was really funny it was when I was reading about that yesterday about imposter syndrome, I was reading about it and it was like they put out the information that 40% of human beings have imposter syndrome because they don't know their own worth, their own value.
I would agree with that 100%.
And here's the crazy part about it for me. This is what really brought it to my attention was the other day when I posted on my Instagram, talking about, I was talking about change and how people have different hats that they wear.
Right.
Yeah. That's actually was what I said, was you have different hats that you wear.
Yeah.
When you go to work, you're one person. When you go home with your wife by yourself, you're one thing. When you go get with your kids, you're another person.
Right.
When you go hang out with your friends, you're a whole nother person.
Yeah.
People have multiple hats.
Right.
And because at first I thought, that's kind of crazy because I talked about that. And then this imposter syndrome thing is out there everywhere.
Right.
And so that's what made me look into it.
Yeah.
But I think the crazy part about it is when I had the comment on that Instagram that somebody said, why are you telling people it's okay to have multiple personalities? and here's the funny part about it is I went and looked at this person's page that commented because I didn't respond. I just liked the comment and moved on.
Yeah.
And this person's a car salesman.
Oh, wow.
And on his reels, he complains about how people act one person when they're in sales, when they come in to buy, and the minute they start talking about money, they change completely.
Meaning his customers.
His customers.
I'd be interested to go and meet him and see if he does that as the car salesman.
He does. I guarantee you he does.
You know he does.
Yep.
Absolutely.
They all do it.
Because if you went home and you were going to say, okay, take 30 minutes and play with your kids, but you still had your car salesman hat on, your kids would be like, who's this crazy fucker?
Right. Why are you trying to sell me my toys, Dad?
Right. Like, this is not fun. I don't want to do this.
Right.
Or if you constantly had your salesman hat on with your spouse or partner or whatever.
Right.
That would be, again, if that was you and you were always trying to sell me on something,
I am a salesman.
Right.
So.
I would tell you, just shut up. I don't want to hear that crap.
Right.
Stop trying to sell me on why I should do the dishes and not you. Stop trying to, I'm just pulling out examples. That would be boring.
Right.
To say the least.
We're Gen X and
we are
in our Gen, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, we're Gen X. Are we?
I don't know.
I thought we were Gen X.
Imposter syndrome.
So we grew up
foiled again
in a world where your parents both had to work. That was the from the 50s Beaver Cleaver era to where mama stayed home, daddy went to work.
Yeah.
And then our generation, it basically became a 2-income household requirement.
Absolutely. It morphed into
very quickly. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so the imposter syndrome, I think, goes a lot deeper than just what they're putting it on the mainstream, because you have these men and women, moms and dads, that go to work and they come home and they don't know how to turn it off. And so you got to ask yourself why. Because here's the depth of it for me, is when my mom first went to work, she would come home and she would treat everybody like an employee.
Yeah.
And so you got to ask yourself, why did they do that? Because that's what prompted this thought after the conversation with the Instagram and then the guy and then all this. And I'm thinking, so they don't understand, like even the guy, the comment, he don't understand what his roles are in life, because that's all a different role that you're playing.
Right.
And you've seen it a lot with the dads. They would come home and they wouldn't be loving. The moms would come home and they wouldn't be a mom anymore.
Right.
And we as human beings, we naturally take on roles.
Absolutely. Of course we do.
And so the depth of this topic goes way deeper than imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
Well,
I agree with you. I think it actually even originates back in the industrial era, where I think that the job, I want to say in the 40s, 50s, when there were factories, you wanted to program individuals that they couldn't be anything more. You wanted to program them that this factory is your livelihood, and be all about the job and do it at any cost.
Yes.
So if I call you after you get off and say, you got to come back to work, you be willing to stay late, be willing to sacrifice family, whatever that looks like.
Yeah.
That's where I think that it kind of started, actually.
Yeah.
Is programming them to be only one character.
Yes.
For longevity, for, the factory work, no matter whether it was then or now, is fucking boring.
Oh, yeah.
I cannot imagine standing or sitting in the same place doing the same thing every day over and over, with the only driving force that, okay, if I do this long enough, I can retire and I'll have a pension to survive on when I'm old and can't do anything.
Right.
Fuck that.
When I'm
not doing it.
I had to go get coins yesterday for the laundromat thing here. And, there was a Publix manager there. And she had said something to the manager, like, why don't you come to work for Publix? And she said, the manager, Racetrack, said to the Publix manager, like, why would I do that? Racetrack's got really good retirement. And then the Publix lady said, well, I've been there 14 years and I have a six-figure retirement already. And I said, 14 years and you only have six-figure retirement? Really put that into perspective.
Yeah, exactly.
Because if you were to go out and create one channel in 1 year and go viral twice, you have now created your entire retirement that you're so proud of with Publix.
Right. After 14 years.
After 14 years.
Yeah. If you had put that time and commitment into your online presence for 14 years,
right,
you would have already well surpassed that.
But the topic and how this rolls into the imposter is, I remember, because I interjected myself into the conversation.
Oh, no. I can't send you anywhere by yourself.
And I said,
God.
So what do you plan on doing with that six figures? And she's like, oh, I don't know yet. I can't touch it yet. Then is it really your money? So if you leave Publix today, how much of that do you get? Oh, I get 40% until my 19th year. So you really don't have six figures because you can't have it until you actually work for them for 19 years. And then it's probably at 25 years that you actually get it. Yeah, it's escalating at 60%. And then, so you really don't have that until you're too old to have it.
Right.
And she's like, what are you, a financial advisor?
No, I'm just a common sense.
No, I'm just being an imposter.
Yeah. I'm just a common sense being.
I am just channeling and using common sense. That's all I'm doing right now.
Right.
I'm having this conversation with you three ladies for some reason in this moment, because for me, what you just said made zero sense to me.
Absolutely. There's no logic in it. I think that's, us being brought up in the era that we were brought up in, we got to see that factory mindset.
Yeah.
And we got a better understanding of reading between the lines.
Right.
And so for us, 1 foot in that era and 1 foot in the next coming era made us realize that makes no logical sense to do that, to commit yourself to one spot and sacrifice everything else just so that in 20, 30, 40 years, when you can't do anything but use a walker and shoot your pants, yeah, you're going to have this money, but even then, doesn't it come in stipend? Like, you don't just get handed this 6-figure chunk of money.
Well, you get control of the wealth of it, but you get penalized if you pull it out.
Right, exactly.
But a prime example of what you're talking about is, I remember my dad came off disability where they allowed him to work they lowered it enough to where he could go to work.
Yeah.
And he went to work for this big company, national company, actually.
Uh-huh.
But he was making minimum wage.
Okay.
And I get it, because he felt like his value had been lost.
Right.
And self-sacrificed himself basically because he wanted to work.
Yeah.
All those years that he wanted to work.
Because his age group was programmed that way.
Right.
You're not a productive member of society if you're not in the factory doing your fair share of the part.
Right.
And so if you're on disability, then you're less worthy. It's very degrading.
Right.
Back then. Or even another part of that is if you didn't go into the military, when they called you up, what is that called? Drafted?
Drafted, yeah. He was drafted.
Right, but I'm just saying, some people that we talked to who couldn't go in when the draft came, very detrimental to their
mentality.
No, to their identity.
Right, yeah, their identity. Yeah,
in that whole imposter syndrome identity thing.
Yeah, so,
self-worth.
He's just proof that you can dedicate yourself to a company for a very long time, and their benefit nowadays, it used to be back in the day, the companies took care of you. Somewhat. I mean, like, I have a couple friends that retired from the phone companies, and man, their pension was insane, and they had full control of it.
Right.
But nowadays, you don't do that. They don't do that because they have IRA contracts and all the other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But it's to me just justification or proof of dedication to one company is not going to be beneficial as you think it is.
Yeah, definitely do your research, do your math, and check it out and really see if it sounds logical. Right.
So and where I was going with that is this woman's in this gas station.
Yeah.
Projecting about how good it is to work for a grocery store chain and being an imposter.
Do tell. Say more.
Because she was over there projecting to this person of being, what's the word I'm looking for? A good representation of what the company does for them for retirement.
I see.
And trying to convert her from racetrack to Publix or whatever.
Right.
or to the grocery store. I probably shouldn't say their name, but the reality behind it is Publix is a great company, I'm sure. I mean, I'm sure they're a really good company. They've been around for a long time.
Yeah.
They do good things, but it wasn't about the Publix thing. It was about what she was representing herself as. And I'm sitting there thinking, man, this is in my reality now. I'm starting to notice it all over the place, you know?
Well, yeah, but she was doing it probably from a very unconscious programmed state.
100%.
She truly believed what she was saying, and she truly believes that the program that they have set up is a very good program and very viable.
Oh, yeah.
Because there are some people in the world that are quite content living that type of life. They get in a job, the security of that, go to it every day, knowing that they have the stability of when I hit that invested number of years, then I can retire and I still will have a paycheck. Some people are quite content with that.
Yeah.
And don't even let themselves think outside of that.
Well, and they're programmed. But
that's right.
What, I think where I was going with this is it made me look and say, wow, that lady was just being an imposter. And I was being an imposter. And then I got to thinking about it, there's an old saying that online, you can be anything you want to be.
Absolutely.
And here we are, we're paying people all across the world. They're getting paid to be imposters every single day in their channels, in their the things that they create. I read a thing yesterday too, or it was this morning, about 20-something% of YouTube channels are AI created by people. It's not even them.
Well,
and so here we are with a world that's talking about imposter syndrome when we're actually propagating more imposter syndrome.
Well, so I think let's clarify, because you started out saying imposter syndrome represented carrying an identity because you didn't have the self-worth to be authentic.
That is correct. Yeah. So
because they create an AI persona,
right,
doesn't necessarily mean they're being an imposter.
I agree.
It just means that that's an additional version of the hat that they wear.
Right. What I'm saying is the depth behind this in the spiritual sense.
Okay.
Of how people are suffering from this imposter syndrome, supposedly, but yet they do it. So is that
what's the suffering part of it? I think I'm missing that.
Well, they say that it causes insecurity, basically, that
because
they have put themselves out there and people are paying them to do it, but yet they don't feel like that they're worthy of the qualifications of it. And so it creates this negative mindset. And you're not seeing that.
Can you play the cricket button? Like, I'm not following.
I'll get there in just a second.
I'm not following you.
But the depth of all of this together is that we're putting out articles. There's articles all over the internet about it.
Okay.
Telling people that it's okay to have imposter syndrome.
Okay.
And just do you and be you. But yet, and so that's the quietness behind it, and the confusion behind it is it's perpetrated over and over and over to accept having it, but you don't have to have it. And so it's confusing, but that's what we do anyway. And so people have created a spiritual subconscious thought of themselves that they're not worthy of what they're projecting themselves as.
Well, and I think because imposter has a negative connotation.
Yep.
And so if you're an imposter, you're faking something or you're not being truthful.
Right.
When what needs to happen is the definition of imposter
needs to be changed.
Needs to be updated.
You're taking this right down the road I was thinking.
Of course I am.
Yep. Go ahead. Keep on going, Dr.
It's interesting that you acknowledge that I'm a good driver on this microphone, but
Yeah.
when we're on the highway,
Yeah. No, I'm out on
it's
that.
not the same thing.
Yeah. No, it's not the same thing. Misdistracted or not paying. You go off into la la land somewhere. I don't know where you go when you
I
drive.
get us from point A to point B. The
Yeah,
same.
you may U-turn 4 times and take 3 rights, but we'll get there.
Of course. I do it my way. I follow the box, man. Follow the box.
No, you don't sometimes. I was sitting there and watching you ignore the box the other day.
I didn't say which box.
Right.
It may be the Cracker Jack box.
But you were taking that right down the road where I was thinking, is this really an imposter syndrome, or is it just a misdefinition? Because once again, we have beliefs that are holding him back into a generation prior to us, or even in our generation, whoever they are, they're staying into that mindset, but yet they're being catapulted into this generation, this internet and social and what's the word? Platforms that are going on all over the world, but yet they're being, because they're not allowing themselves to change definitions and beliefs.
Well, it definitely is a word that needs a new definition.
Yes,
because what needs to be realized is it being an imposter means that you're pretending to be something you're not by the old definition.
agreed.
But pretending to be something you're not is not necessarily a bad thing because of many different facets. When you go to a new job, you don't know the job yet.
Right.
You've got to be shown, even if you've got experience in office assistant, because you've worked in other offices, you don't know the new job format until somebody teaches you. So even in that sense, you're having to be an imposter under the new definition until you learn what that company's definition or job description is of that title.
That's correct.
So essentially what we're saying, what I'm saying here is we wear many titles. We wear many hats. Just because you don't feel like you know them inside and out yet can make it feel like that it's untrue.
Right.
Which then creates a lack of confidence in it.
Right.
And lowers your self-worth.
Right.
Instead of toggling your perspective just a little bit and saying, okay, you know what? And we're going to use office assistant as an example.
Right.
Yes, I've been an office assistant my entire career. I just changed companies. So I know the general basis of it, but I don't know how this company does it. And because you walk in and you don't necessarily know how they do it, there's always that little monkey mind thought of, oh my gosh, can I do this job? I noticed in the job description that there's some more responsibilities that I don't know how to do yet.
Right.
And so for some people, they will consciously and sometimes subconsciously take themselves out of the running for the job, because they'll convince themselves that, yes, I've been an office assistant for 30 years, but I have never worked with Excel, just as an example.
Right. Yeah.
And if the job description says on there heavy Excel work,
Right.
then if they have that imposter syndrome, as you're calling it, from the old definition, they may very well not take the job. They may very well walk out the door when they find out what the job description is, because they have a lack of confidence that they can fake it till they make it.
Right.
Or that they misrepresented themselves to the interviewer or the new employer about being an office assistant, rather than coming clean and saying, yeah, I've got 30 years of office assisting, but I've never worked with Excel. But but I'm a quick study, and if you're willing to train me, I'm willing to learn.
Yeah.
Because they think that divulging that could take them out of the running as well.
Right.
So by not divulging all of that too, and kind of faking it till you make it, imposter syndrome, they then go in feeling like they maybe didn't present themselves completely and totally truthful.
Which is what causes the
and
negative
then
thoughts.
That starts to roll into, oh my gosh, this is harder than I thought. Can I fake it long enough to actually get this learned? Then that deteriorates self-confidence.
Right.
And it's kind of like this mad loop of being the negative part of the imposter syndrome, rather than saying to yourself when you go in, yep, I got 30 years of office assistant. I know office assisting forwards and backwards. I don't know the Excel part of it, but the parts I do know and can do on autopilot will give me plenty of time to take that time and energy and learn Excel really quickly and rapidly, and talking themselves through that to maintain the confidence on the job, which then would take them out of the imposter feeling negative side of that.
Well, I think another perspective of this is companies have pretty much removed the manager and the training off their people's titles. Like, you go to Starbucks and get a job as a barista, you're not a barista in training, you're a barista.
Yeah.
You're not a sacker at a grocery store or a sacker in training, you're a sacker.
Right.
Because the reality is very simple in this world, and people are not thinking this, is there's levels to everything.
Yeah.
That you're learning, that you're being, that who you are, there's a level of that. Like, you have some mothers that have been mothers once, they've been mothers 3 times. And so there's different levels to that. You learn as you go, you're continuously learning.
Yeah, exactly.
And so, but the value of within what you know in things is because you're to a different level than those below you. And so that's where the value comes in, is your knowledge, your training, and your expertise. And no matter what it is that you do, there are people below you within it. And so your knowledge and your experience becomes valuable because you are more experienced in it than they are. Just like you were
just
at
want
one
to
day.
be careful not to go into some sort of superiority complex or some sort of ego nonsense because of that.
I agree.
If you stay in that humble teaching place, if you're going to use that as an anchor for your confidence, then use it in a humble manner. Use it in a good way.
Right.
I know more than this person, so I'm going to take the opportunity to teach this person what I know while I'm learning what I don't know.
Right.
So they don't have to experience that not confident part in their job.
I think some of the best people I've had that ever taught me anything were very humble. And they were good at what they did, and I wanted to learn from them. Mm-hmm. But those ones that are egotistical that come at me, I wanted nothing to do with them.
Yeah, that's very hard to digest for most people.
I agree.
Some people do well with it, but it's for most people it's very hard to try and learn something from somebody who thinks they know everything and they're better than.
Right.
That's a very, very hard platform to learn from.
Right.
Oh, no.
You get to put money in the jar.
Not just once, but twice. That's why I was grinning. I was waiting to see if you heard it.
I heard the first one.
Oh, man.
I know you were talking during the time.
Did you know that's why I was smiling?
Yeah. No, I wouldn't. I didn't put two and two together, no. But
oh, darn. So I ratted myself out.
But so that's where I think we lose our value and we're not realizing because the corporate mindset,
So are they talking about out there in the world where you run around in? Are they talking about it as it's a bad thing? Or are they talking about it as like Like, what's the
None of them are
content?
really nobody that I have seen has give any kind of true explanation of it, or it's kind of like their own opinion.
I see.
And there is definitely nobody putting anything out there saying, "Hey, let me help you get through this, and let me explain to you what it is."
Yeah, because we all come in as imposters from time to time. I'll give you another example. When you first start dating somebody, 90% of people don't ever show their true colors. They come in with a facade or an imposter version of them that may not be altogether book wide open transparency. They
according to People magazine, 97% of people do that for the first 4 months of a relationship.
Yeah, exactly. So that's a kind of impostership.
Yeah, it is. It's totally impostership.
So everybody does it,
right?
And I don't personally think that it's a bad thing unless you're purposely, consciously creating
Misleading. Yeah.
a situation where you're wanting to intentionally mislead somebody.
That's a true imposter.
Like the whole, what do they call it? Catfishing somebody.
Right.
For a different agenda, or representing a service or a product in an imposter way just to get sales.
Yes.
I know that I've felt that as a consumer. I go into an establishment looking at their products. They sell me on things, but they purposely leave the fine print out.
Yeah.
And I don't know what I don't know. So I didn't know to ask the questions. And I find out later, after being a member of the membership or partaking in their product, I learn the fine print and I'm like, oh, like a bank, for example.
Yeah.
You go become a user of the bank and you ask them, okay, well, what are the monthly fees? Well, there are no monthly fees on your account.
And then you get monthly fees.
And then you end up with a monthly fee because what they forgot to say was, as long as you keep $500 in the account,
or the
don't
number
have
of
a monthly
transactions
fee.
you have to
it's
have.
like leaving a portion of that out made it okay just so they could get the transaction done.
Right.
Or
because omission is lying.
That's right.
Yep.
Especially if you're doing it on purpose just to make a sale.
That's being an imposter.
That's being a type of imposter, but that's being an imposter with a specific unhealthy agenda.
Correct. 100% agree.
Being an imposter on a positive note is, because we all do it.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go back to my initial example of office assistant.
Mm-hmm.
You apply for the job, office assistant. You've got several years under your belt, and you go in wanting to work for that company, and they use Excel a lot. You're not being an imposter by accepting the job because you intentionally want to do wrong. You just want to expand or grow or encompass their learning opportunities to grow your resume, so to speak, right? It's if you went in and had never worked as an office assistant and, shoveled dirt and you made up a fake resume and said, oh, yeah, I've been an office assistant, and weren't completely honest with them.
Right.
That's the difference. That's the change.
100%.
And so I think that there's two versions of this imposter syndrome, where one version is not healthy.
Right.
And the other version is something we do every day. We just call it something different.
Right. It's kind of like, I think a good reference point to it is, I can't remember who that was.
Doesn't
A few
matter.
years back, I had put out something on the internet about resume writing.
Okay.
And how to word your resume differently. It means the same thing.
Uh-huh.
but you're wording it differently so it sounds more majestic. So instead of being a flight attendant, you're an aeronautical personal online or an in-air assistant service specialist or whatever, something like that. That it was those kind of things.
Right.
And so being that, it's not about who you are, what you're doing, or what product you're putting out. It's about understanding that no matter what you're doing or putting out, is somebody's going to see it differently. And if you create it differently than everybody else, is that really being an imposter?
I mean, of course it is. It's being an imposter. So I think if we boil this down, being an imposter is a perspective.
Agreed.
If you feel like that you're not being authentic to whatever the life pie topic is, and you feel like that you are basically telling a lie to yourself or others, then yes, that is not a healthy way to go about impostership.
Right. If you're being egregious, I agree.
If you are doing it from the new definition of we change hats and we change persona on a regular basis, depending on the crowd that we're in and what we're doing, that's a type of impostership.
Right.
But it's a healthy impostership.
Right.
Like we started the channel out with this morning, the podcast out, impostership is necessary.
Mm-hmm.
If you went around always with your car salesman hat on, you would not relate to your wife very well. You would not relate to your children very well. You would not relate to other situations where you're not trying to sell a car.
Right.
So you've got to have a certain level of impostership. And essentially, I'm just basically showing people how to create a new definition. There can be multiple definitions to things.
Right. And I think that's where they get confused sometimes. People do. Just because you're at Starbucks learning to be a barista, and they call you a barista.
Right. And it doesn't quite feel comfortable yet because you're still learning.
Right.
It can feel like a lie. It can
yep.
feel like you're being an imposter.
That's exactly right.
But the thing is that everybody's learning something somewhere along the way, and you don't lose your confidence in life just because you're learning something new.
Right.
Because every day in every section of the life pie, if you're not learning, you're not growing.
Right.
And so there's going to be moments where it's uncomfortable. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's a lie or that you're misrepresenting yourself as an imposter.
Right.
It just means that you're there to learn and grow. And that's different than being an untrue faker imposter.
And that's where I wanted to fall back into is the simple fact of in your own mindset.
I'm not saying you go out and be a catfisher with a very negative.
Did you just say catfisher?
Yeah.
Okay.
And with a negative, shitty agenda.
Right.
I'm just showing people
there's a difference between being an imposter, having imposter syndrome, and being fake.
And I'm very surprised that they actually gave it a full official name
They did.
Syndrome.
It's crazy.
Oh my God, you got a syndrome now. I've seen
there's over 1 million comments on Instagram about it.
Where's my medication for that?
Hashtag imposter syndrome.
What does that pill look like?
I don't know. It's red.
Sometimes it's yellow and sometimes it's red.
It depends on
sometimes it's
I guess
green.
It depends on what kind of imposter you're going to be, I guess. Because the reality is, as long as you're being yourself, you're not being an imposter. You're not being an imposter.
Right.
As long as you're being genuine to yourself and to others, and you're not fooling anybody. You're not being an imposter. You're just doing you.
That's right.
As long as you don't do it with malintentions.
That's right.
And so having some kind of negative thought over it, because it's stupid, and it's a lack of understanding.
You just called a whole lot of people stupid.
Your own Well, no, I'm talking about this syndrome being called syndrome is stupid. I'm not saying the people are. Because
You're so stupid for being self-conscious about being an imposter.
it's a lack of understanding of who they are or where they are. Because if say you're in, like you said, you're a new office assistant, you're on day 3, and then they hire another office assistant that's on day 1. You now know more than the person on day 1.
Right.
Because you've now been trained for 3 days and this person's on their first day. So that makes your knowledge valuable.
Right. But does it make them an imposter?
No, that's what I'm saying is people don't understand that no matter how smart you are or how dumb you think you are, there's somebody out there that needs the information that you have. And that should create an internal peace of mind that who you are is genuine within it and your knowledge is valuable.
Right, exactly. You are a piece of the puzzle. Every
100%.
single one, every single person. And it takes every piece of the puzzle to put the puzzle together.
Right. I totally agree.
Every person is here for a purpose.
Yes.
And that by itself needs to be recognized and be for people the place of confidence.
Right.
I have a purpose. I'm here for a reason. What I have to share is valuable to somebody somewhere.
Right.
Or 2 somebodies or 3 somebodies. And
you see, here's the crazy part about it is 12,000 plus views or whatever on my Instagram. And I had one person be negative comment about that one video.
mm-hmm.
So what in their mind do they think it's okay when there's 11,000 plus other people that have enjoyed the content? And you're being negative. So this is the kind of stuff that people are pushing onto people because they're not seeing the value in others as well. And so they're going to be more egregious and outgoing and online aggressive about it because they don't see that person's value.
Well, so that one goes a little deeper.
I agree.
It's not about just not seeing the other person's value. It's about they
There
don't.
you go.
No, it's about them having low self-esteem. Those people that lash out like that and they want to be derogatory usually have a very, very low self-confidence and very low self-esteem.
And there are some people that like to cause shit.
Nah, I mean, that's true because they're not consciously aware that they're living in that trauma, drama, chaos loop. And that's the only way of life that they know.
Right.
Because no one's brought it to their attention. Hey, idiot, you're creating the trauma drama in your own reality. I mean, look at how you're behaving.
Right. Douchebag. You're being a douchebag. Yeah.
And so for some people, that's the normal way of life. And they aren't aware even that they're doing it.
Right.
And that there's a different way to go about it.
Right. And I
Some
think
people will actually walk around behaving that way, thinking that this is how everybody else behaves and this is the norm. This is what I'm supposed to do because they were raised in a household or in a lifestyle where that was what was going on, and they logged that as normal interaction and normal behavior.
Right. You know, there's a phrase, you're talking about owning it. You remember that? Whatever it is, you need to own it. Okay. It's yours. If it's yours, you own it.
Yeah.
And I think that this falls into that category because...
The imposter category?
Yes.
Okay.
Because if you own who you are, that means you own all of it. And so if you own the negative, the positive, or whatever, the thoughts processes behind it, own it and look into it. Because this can apply to everybody out there.
Yeah.
No matter and imposter syndrome or not. Wherever you are in your world, own it. Be the best at it. Accept everything of it.
I'm going to be an asshole, and I'm going to be the best damn asshole there is on the planet.
Yep, there are people that do that. I know a couple of them. But you know what? But I know who they are. And so I know that they're the best asshole in the world.
Right.
because they are being true to themselves.
That's right.
And there's a lot to be said for that.
That's right. They are, and going in, that's just who this person is.
That's who this person is.
And they've got the mentality of, this is who I am as well, and you can take it or you can leave it, and it's not going to bother me either way.
Right. So if you need some loving, caring attention, you call your grandma. If you need an asshole, you call this guy because you know who they are.
That's right.
And that is not being an imposter.
Right.
Because you own who you are. You own it.
Right.
You own your space.
Yeah.
And you own your spot in life.
Exactly.
Like if you're a barber, be the best barber ever. If you're a salesman, own it. Just own who you are.
Right.
And that's where a lot of people get misunderstood and turn it into negativity because they're not owning it.
Right. Or they get confused about who they are.
Yeah.
They haven't really decided what impostership.
And that falls on personal value. Yeah, that falls on their own value.
They can't really decide
it. Yeah.
Because they've been programmed that, you can get more bees with honey, and so you must be nice and pleasant and la da 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 da. And assholes are not pleasant and da 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 da. And so trying to fit into something that you're not, instead of really just checking in with yourself to say, you know what? And I made a t-shirt. Some days I'm rude as fuck, and that's okay. Yeah. Because some days you are.
Yeah. And would you?
Everybody is. Some days you're just fed up, and it pops right out of your mouth, and it's like, ooh, well, that intercom was on.
That was a hot mic.
I didn't even mean for that to come out, but it's what was going on inside of you. Like, you are just what you are. Own it.
I would tell you one time I was officiating a football game. I'm not going to say where, but one of I was the referee for the game.
Yeah.
One of the officials, the back judge, threw a flag on a pass interference. Obvious pass interference, by the way.
Yeah.
It was very obvious. It was defensive pass interference. And so I go over to the offensive side and see if they want to accept the penalty or not, blah, 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 blah. And then I'm talking to the defensive coach.
Uh-huh.
And he is just being straight dumbass. That wasn't a catchable ball, just all that stuff going through all these things. And when I was walking back out, I pushed my mic, and then my back judge ran up to me. And so I had the mic was on, and I was like, yeah, the dumbass coach over there. And it goes over the entire microphone at the stadium. I was like, oh, shit, that was a hot mic.
Hot mic.
I got taken off the microphone for like 3 months.
They didn't just charge you a fine and spank you on the hand?
No, it happens.
How can you not be on the mic to do that job?
I'm a head linesman. I was filling in because our referee was sick. And so I was just filling in.
So you didn't get to fill in for a little while?
No, I didn't get to fill in for a while. No. In some of the games, you wear mics, all of them anyway. All of them wear mics. But there's a delay in them. That's what gets you. That's where those hot mics come from. Because sometimes they'll have a delay, and sometimes they won't. And so normally when you're doing that kind of coach,
don't be an imposter.
Right. When you turn the mic on, by the time you get to the middle of the field, it's now kicked on, and you can hear it in your ear. Mm. But there's sometimes as soon as you hit it, it kicks on.
Right.
And so it was.
So don't say anything behind the mic that you wouldn't want.
Right. They teach you to blow on
outside of the mic,
so you can hear it. You can hear it before you. That's what they do. They teach you. But anyway, so don't be an egregious hot mic.
Or just say things that you're okay going over the mic with.
Right.
Owning it.
I remember that going over thinking, oh my God, I just dug myself into a hole. This is not going to be a fun rest of the game. But anyway.
Well, if he was being a dumbass coach, then you weren't lying.
Well, all coaches are dumbass. Just so you know.
Wow, you just made a lot of our listeners probably mad.
And that's okay because all coaches think that officials are dumbasses, so that's okay.
Oh, turnabout's fair play.
Oh yeah, it's totally both directions.
I see.
It's not a singular path.
Mm.
It's
an eye for an eye.
It's definitely reciprocating.
I see.
So, but anyway, so how do you feel?
Hungry.
Hungry. Do you feel complete?
I feel like there's probably more to talk about, but I feel like it needs to marinate. What's basically happening with this topic is I feel like the collective is in a transformational state of, so I think AI has triggered this for the collective, because there's, what I notice is people are creating content using AI and they're saying, well, is it really my content?
Right.
Or they're being badgered. You created that with AI, and so it's not even really yours. So I think that's what's happening a little bit and why this topic came up. This is my rabbit hole conspiracy theory.
Right.
And we've talked about this a little bit, is AI is not going to just sit there and randomly create crap unless you feed it information and data. And so just because AI is helping someone take their chaotic thoughts and purposely organizing and structuring them into a readable article or a readable book doesn't mean that you're being an imposter.
Right.
It doesn't mean that you didn't come up with the content. Somebody has to feed the AI the information.
People have been doing that for years. They're called proofreaders. It's the same exact thing.
That's right.
Just it's instead of a live person, it's technology doing it.
And that's why I think this imposter thing is really coming up in the collective.
Yeah.
Is because the AI concept is, there's a lot of buzz around that.
Yeah.
Is it truly my content? Did I truly come up with that?
Like I just posted your book and they ask you.
People are ragging each other. And like,
how much of this was AI created?
That's right. Now there's questions out there where it's like,
and so because it's crazy, because what do you say to that question when you put your manuscript in,
right? And
you have Grammarly fix it, or you have AI proofread it.
Grammarly is,
and then they reword
AI.
It is. It all is.
Yeah.
And so, why are you even asking that question?
Right. Exactly.
So,
especially
before, do you want the name of my proofreader?
Right. You didn't have to give the name and the phone number and the fax and the address of your proofreader.
Right.
Right. But because it's now a robotic, animated, coded entity, so to speak,
right,
that is extremely intelligent, they say.
Right.
I mean, there's some days when my chat acts like a fucking idiot.
They're saying Microsoft Publisher can actually tell you exactly the keystrokes that have been put into an article, which you tell me how it does that if you copy and paste it into it.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's stupid. But anyway.
Know. So I think that's where it's coming from.
And we'll definitely have to have a part 2 to this one.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. If that's what the collective wants.
Because
I guess
I think you just touched on something that where that needs to go is the AI. Angle of it all.
That's what I see collectively, is that
like
why this imposter syndrome is coming up is because people are being questioned on the AI part of it.
Is it real?
Like, you didn't write that book. Your AI wrote that book.
Right.
Well, where the fuck do you think the information came from?
Well, this is not
and what
different.
is the definition of writing the book?
Right.
You mean, did I take a pen and a piece of paper, like some antiquated process, and write it down like they used to?
No, it's all voice now.
That's
Hardly
right.
no book writers anymore. They all use their voice.
That's right. There's a reason why there's typewriters in museums.
I know you can't even buy a typewriter anymore.
People don't use them anymore. And so it doesn't mean that I didn't write the content or that I didn't come up with it. It's wordplay.
It's like my book. I sit out there underneath that awning for, I don't know, weeks talking, just
voice to text.
Voice to text.
Right.
And
so technically, by definition of the Webster's Dictionary,
right,
you didn't write a shit-ass thing.
Right, because you and this is what's bad is there's college professors that are holding this against kids because they're voice to texting.
Yeah.
And then and when they put it into Microsoft Publisher to see if it was AI, it's showing that it's all AI.
Right. But they didn't use AI, or they may have put it in Grammarly to check the grammar and spelling and stuff.
Right.
But they did a voice to text thing, which is what I do all the time.
Yeah.
I do not even type anymore.
No.
I don't even like typing. I go around speaking.
When you do type, you complain about it.
the interesting thing is, in the medical world, we did voice to text all the time.
Yeah.
It's a normal common occurrence to dictate. It's not called voice to text in the medical world.
Doctors did it for years too.
Dictate your assessment into a piece of equipment, and then somebody types it up for you. So is it in fact your content, and is it your assessment that you wrote? If
That's
we're
what
going to
many medical
wordplay.
transcriptioners did for years.
Exactly.
All they did was take the audio recording from the doctors and then put it into writing.
Right. And so why is it okay for the medical personnel to do it?
Right.
And have been doing it for years. And now all of a sudden, authors and essay writers, students in school, it's not okay for them to do the same kind of construct.
Right. You agree. But
So that's where I think it's stems from in the collective.
yeah. Well,
Are we out of time,
yeah.
Mr. Father Time?
Father time.
Okay.
Well, so guys, hey, don't forget to check out www.themerckcenters.org. You can see Dr. Jenny's blog at Dr. Jenny to the Edge and back at blogspot.com. And you can also check out Lucidium World at lucidiumworld.com. And you can also check out Jenny's new yoga. She has partnered with a friend of ours named Danielle, and they're doing a very cool yoga called Jindan Yoga. It is a merging of Chinese medicine and regular yoga to where you're doing a whole body wellness.
It's not regular yoga. It's a lower impact yoga.
Again, yeah.
It's a very low impact yoga. But what it's doing when you mix it with the meridian work, it's digging out that embedded trauma energy from the parts of the body and using the energy with it. It's a healing, deep energy work type yoga. So if you're looking for high impact, stay tuned. We'll put that together.
Yeah.
But this type of yoga really is going to pull out the trauma energy,
agreed.
the trauma memory that gets stuck in the body, and really help you process the trauma dramas, grief, loss, sadness, just all that trauma drama.
Everything they're hanging on to.
Exactly.
Anyway, y'all check that out. You can check that out at www.themerckcenters.org/Jindan Yoga.
Yeah.
And that's JENDAN yoga.
Very good.
But other than that, I think I'm pretty much done.
I think we ring that bell, man.
Okay, don't forget to like, follow, and share with your friends. And
ring that bell, y'all.
hey, we hope y'all have an awesome day.
Love ya.